You've probably sent or received, a dozen calendar invites this month alone. It feels like such a simple click for us, but behind that one click is an entire invisible machine working tirelessly. So today, we are pulling back the curtain on that very machine to see how it all works, starting right after you hit accept.
Okay, so you get that invite, you check your schedule, and you click accept. But what really happens in that split second? Where does that yes actually go? And how does the organizer instantly know you're coming? It's not magic, I promise you. It's a perfectly choreographed digital dance. That simple click kicks off a completely automated journey. It's this whole process that makes sure your response and any changes to the event are handled reliably and instantly, without a single person having to manually track any of it. So come on, let's follow that digital journey, right from the moment an event is created to the second your response lands back with the organizer. All right, to really get this journey, we first need to meet the crew. I want you to think of this system as a highly efficient specialist team that's operating in the cloud. Each member has a very, very specific job, and they all work together seamlessly to manage every single aspect of your event. So, who's on this team? Well, first up is AWS Lambda. This is the on-demand worker that just jumps into action only when it's needed. It's what we call serverless, which is incredibly efficient because you only pay for the split seconds it's actually doing something. Then you've got Amazon SQS, which is like the ultimate to-do list, making sure no request ever gets lost. DynamoDB acts as the digital filing cabinet, storing every little detail perfectly. And finally, you have SNS and SES. They're the postal service, handling all the invites and updates. Every single event starts with an idea. But how does that simple thought, hey, team meeting Tuesday at 10, transform into a digital reality that actually lands in everyone's inbox? Let's trace that very first step. It's a good question, right? Because it's not just about typing in a title and a time. The system has to turn that information into a secure, verifiable, and trackable digital object. And the amazing part? It all happens in just a few milliseconds. The moment the organizer hits send, the system just springs to life. First, it runs a super important security check. Does this person even have permission to create this event? Once that's verified, it creates a new file for the event and stores it in that digital filing cabinet DynamoDB. And just like that, a confirmation zips back to the organizer, and the event officially exists. But an event that just sits in a database isn't much of a meeting, is it? The next critical step is getting the word out. So how does that invitation make the journey from the system's brain all the way to your inbox? Now, you might think the system just blasts out all the emails at once, but to handle events with potentially hundreds of attendees, it's way smarter than that. Each invite is first placed on that orderly to-do list, SQS, just to make sure nothing gets dropped. Then our on-demand worker, Lambda, grabs the task, tells the postal service to send the email, and at the very same time, it creates a brand new tracking file just for you in the database. Of course, meetings are rarely set in stone. Times change, locations shift, people RSVP. The real magic of this invisible machine isn't just in sending the invite, but in managing this constant state of change and keeping everyone perfectly in sync. I mean, we've all been there. You get that email, event updated, or even worse, event canceled. So how does the system handle this so gracefully, making sure every single person gets the message without the organizer having to email everyone one by one? When an organizer makes a change, the system is smart. It gets the update and immediately consults its records to see exactly who is on the attendee list. It then stages or prepares the right notifications, whether it's an update or a cancellation, and finally, the Postal Service sends those notices out, but only to the people who actually need to know. It's targeted and it's incredibly efficient. And now, we come full circle, right back to that moment we started with. You've clicked accept, decline, or maybe tentative. Your decision flies back into the cloud. How is it processed? How does the organizer's view update in real time? Okay, so your reply is received, and this is important, it's verified to make sure it's a legitimate response to a real event. Once that's confirmed, the system goes straight to that digital filing cabinet, finds your specific attendee file, and updates your status. It's that simple, and it's that instant. The organizer's view is now up to date, all without anyone lifting a finger. And inside that digital filing cabinet, things are kept incredibly tidy. It's not just one big messy folder. No, there's a master record for the event itself with all the details and the status. Then it keeps a separate record for every single attendee to track their RSVP. It even tracks stats for the organizer, which is really useful for things like event creation limits. This separation is the key to keeping everything fast and efficient. So we've seen the whole journey, from creation all the way to response. But what's the big takeaway here? Why does this automated, invisible machine matter so much in our daily digital lives?
So, what does this all add up to? Well, you get incredible efficiency since no human has to manage any part of the process. The system is built for massive scale, so we can handle a 2-person coffee chat and a 2,000-person conference with the same grace. It's reliable, with built-in checks for errors, and most importantly, it's secure, making sure that that invite for a secret project really came from your boss.
And the scale is just staggering. Systems like this are capable of processing millions upon millions of events, updates, and RSVPs without ever breaking a sweat. It's a real testament to the power of cloud automation working silently in the background for all of us. And if you dig into the system's own documentation, you find the core mission statement behind it all. It says it's designed to provide automated and scalable event handling, enabling seamless coordination. And that last part, seamless coordination, that's everything. It's about using technology to remove all the friction from getting people together. So the next time you click accept on an invite, you'll know about the incredible digital crew working behind the scenes. Which, leaves me with one final question for you to think about. What other invisible systems are running silently in the background, making your digital life possible?